Hey there, film fans. I'm Jeff.
I'm Dave.
And I'm John, and welcome back to The Love of Cinema, a pod in which we'll challenge one another to discuss movies, both new and old, with a strictly positive critical eye.
That's right. And to avoid lazy negativity, we've decided to make this episode a drinking game. So anytime we say anything negative at all about this film, about each other, about how, technically speaking, Dave is brain damaged, you're going to hear this sound. This sound means we're taking a drink, and we hope you drink along with us.
So, pour yourselves a glass. It's a movie about the procedure me and Jeff had to get when we experimented too much when we were next to each other.
Oh, cheers. That's why we're still friends. Little pre-show shot. Ooh, the Knob Creek 12-year was on sale, and it's very tasty down the pipe. That's right, people. If this episode started hot in your feed and you don't know what you just got caught up in, this is the Love of Cinema podcast.
We drink, procedure and you
talk about movies, keep
it
positive. And we drink, we keep it positive, and our movie of the week is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Why? Because the random year generator spun 2004, and guess what, guys? This is our first time ever going to 2004 properly. This is our first time. It was a really wild movie.
Wow.
I looked it up through all my notes and I could not find it. Certainly not whenever we've done any of the either Random Year Generator series or movies of the year. So yeah, this is our first proper 2004. So I had to make some new notes.
There's actually playlists now on YouTube. So you can go to like films of the 2000s, films of the 1930s. You can go to every decade.
Nice, Dave. Yeah. Good job, man.
Dave, way to set that up. Dave, thanks for producing and setting up the film.
When you're trying to figure out.
We are on YouTube. We're gonna rank. We're gonna vote what we think of this movie, and this little icon is gonna sit next to us. But before we do that, I just want to say we also have a couple mini reviews. We got If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. We've got Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. I got that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
John saw another one that's going to be in the episode notes, and we do a year in review too. And we got to get drinking. So if you just want to get to our Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind conversation, you're really sad. Valentine's Day movie. This is still February after all. So they kept talking about it. February sucks. And we just got a fucking huge snowstorm, Dave and I. And so I was like, yeah, February does fucking
I'm
suck.
waist deep in snow right now.
Yeah? We got almost 20 inches. Yeah. About 20 inches. You're waist deep in something, that's for sure. So anyway, we keep the show notes and the chapters tidy. So if you just want to get to your Eternal Sunshine conversation, we'll be a little drunker than we are now, a little bit later in the episode. Maybe. So scoot ahead, check the show notes. But please stick around or watch us on YouTube so you can get caught up with our mini reviews and what we're up to and see us drink for real. Let's go ahead and vote, and then we'll do our sponsors and everything. Are you guys ready to vote on what we thought of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
I am now.
Yeah.
Okay, here's our drum roll. 3, 2, 1. I knew you guys were going to both go with the gold star. Yep. You know what? You talked me into it. Lift me up. I gave it a great. That's it.
Cool.
Well, fuck you.
Well, fuck you. John, you want to shout our sponsors out?
Absolutely. Carlos Barroso makes bar. C. Barroso makes bar. Makes beer. C. Barroso.beer.
In the
mornings.
Handle
is in the show notes. Follow him. Like all his beer making shenanigans on Instagram. We also have music in this episode and the last episode and every single episode. And all that music is provided by the artist Dasein. Dasein, Dasein. You can find their music available on all the usual music platforms. Wherever you stream music, their music is Dasein. All right, let's do it.
Love it. Dave, anything you want to say? Any notes or any news you want to say before we do these mini reviews?
No, let's get into it.
All right, what order should we do them in, you guys? What do you think?
I mean, dude, what have we been trying to do for 3 weeks?
Sure, we'll kick it off first with If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You.
Okay, and then we'll do, because all three of us, you and I saw this, and all three of us have seen Take Care, Good Luck. No, good luck, have fun, don't die.
Good luck, have fun, rectal trauma. Yeah.
Look, buzz me all you want, but I think it's a great movie, but I saw it and I'm still like confused on the title, even though those little kids are screaming in my head. It makes sense if you've seen the movie. Something to think about. Okay. John, you saw this more recently. I saw this 3 weeks ago and I've been fucking waiting for you to see it. So what did you think of If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, nominated at the Oscars for Rose Byrne's leading actress performance? What do you think?
I mean, the performance is incredible. This movie, first of all, I feel like it's important to say, because just to give everybody context one more time, I think a lot of us heard about this movie starting with the awards run-ups, the for your considerations for the Critics' Choice, the Golden Globes, and now the Oscars and everything, because Rose Byrne...
Yeah, what is this Andrea Riseborough situation going on, you know?
Yeah, well, and who was the director of this movie? We have it right here. Sorry. Her name is... God damn it. Her name is Mary Bronstein.
Yeah, if you can't find it, just yell the N-word. It works for the BAFTAs.
Mary Bronstein. Jesus. Okay, so
it's way too topical. If people listen in
this movie is so intense in I found to be a very, very effective way, without giving too much away. But I think if you watch the trailer or read any type of log line or anything, you're going to know this is a really intense subjective experience of a mother going like fucking circling the drain. Tough situation with her child, tough situation with husband, tough situation with career, balancing all those things in the midst of a very heightened situation. It's not like a slice of life. Like there's something very specific and intense that is happening at this particular time of their lives. And it takes place over, I would guess, like about a week. It feels like it doesn't feel like it's months to me. Like It's probably a few weeks, maybe under a month, I would feel comfortable saying.
From that description, I'd say if you've ever heard the song I Don't Like Mondays, it's the film version of that.
Oh, man. It's so fucking intense. I feel like Mary Bronstein was channeling her David Lynch on this one.
Oh, yeah.
There are some very effective surreal elements. There's a wonderful thematic conceptual thing that's established early on that eventually like really does come full circle in a very kind of unsavory, but again, surreal way. It's really, really tragic, really intense, really emotional, and it's just helmed by an absolute stellar, sickening performance by Rose.
Yeah.
I mean, really, when I finished this, I walked out, Elizabeth was like, "Did you like it?" And I was like, "That's not the right word. That's not the word for this movie."
Well, I was affected by it.
I thought it was very good. I thought she was very good. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this put on film before. And so I just want to give her props for that. Both every person involved with this, Mary, Rose, whoever. I mean, it was really powerful.
I think you're right. Also, shout out to Conan O'Brien. This is the year of non-actors in actor roles. I just listened to the director's symposium on, and they had Marty Supreme, they had Josh Safdie, they had Paul Thomas Anderson had to talk about hiring like real kids that aren't necessarily actors to get interrogated by a real former ICE officer and Department of Homeland Security agent and stuff. And so just the year of that. And then, you have Conan O'Brien and A$AP Rocky. A$AP Rocky was great as her neighbor James.
He was great.
Yeah.
I liked him better in this than, and he was good in Highest to Lowest. He was good. He did his job.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was so impressed with him in this.
Yeah, and Tyler, the Creator, was in something. I think it's also important to know, so I didn't know we were going to pick this. We got to watch the SAG movies for Angela because she's voting. The votes are due at the end of the week. And we had other movies on the list, like Blue Moon, which I also saw. I'll talk about at the end of the episode because David already seen it and done a little review on it. So I thought she was going to pick that. Instead, she picked this, and I was very surprised because it seemed very intense. And I was like, okay, so we're doing that. We're signing up for this. And it's like it's only on her in a very long one-er and like a close-up / a medium, but it's only her. I don't see anybody else. I don't see the background. I didn't see her daughter's face for a long time. You don't see her husband except on the screen. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And we're just watching her be strung out, getting therapy, even though she's a therapist, and tight close-ups. I mean, it is intense. It is a really intense movie. Having said that, it's still very, like, we couldn't stop watching it. So I hope I'm not telling people, like, and you, John, maybe not scaring people off of seeing it because it's like not a good hang or whatever. But I'm so happy I saw it, and I couldn't look away, even when that fucking, was it a gerbil? I don't remember at this point. That animal fucking ran out.
Hamster, yeah.
The hamster. Anyway, I kudos to her and kudos to the director for pulling it off because it could have been gimmicky and it was totally motivated and it was great. I
just want to say one thing because I know I've talked about this on this before, and I had heard about this beforehand. In all of the trailer shots, it does kind of make it look like the form of this movie is dictated by like close-ups of Rose Byrne. There are a lot of those, but I felt that this movie transcended the form. For one thing, it literally doesn't stick to that entirely. Exactly. So much of it is driven by the camera just locked onto her. Yeah. But my favorite scenes in this movie, some of my favorite scenes, were when the camera was pulled back and you saw her relating to other people. There are cutaways from her. So this is not one of those movies who has a form that is so strict that you just think about the form. this is just a very subjective, character-driven piece that really does follow its protagonist very closely. That's how I wish I had heard about it, because I think I was a little in my head about the form initially. And I was like, oh, God, am I going to have to just stare at her close-up the whole time? But
well, I didn't know anything about the form, and then I was staring at her close-up for 10 minutes, so am I going to have to stare at her close-up the whole time? But then they let it go.
Not that she's not awesome and great to look
oh my
at,
God,
great
totally
performer.
worth it.
I mean, she
good for her.
Crushed it, dude. Oh, man, she's good.
Dave, you have not seen this yet?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Yeah, put it on the list. I mean, she's nominated. She's not going to win, but it's like it's so worth it. Happy that it's getting the attention thanks to that.
Apparently, that's Mary Bronstein's second film in 20 years or something. Like she has I think she's only made a couple features.
And she's in it. She plays Dr. Spring. She plays the doctor.
Imagine you make film one and then there's 15-year gap, and then you walk in the living room. It's like, oh, I've got another idea.
Yeah.
I mean, to her defense, if she makes movies like this, these are probably hard to get funded. You need an A-list star to say passion project. I love it, and that's what she got with Rose Byrne. And it's just so cool that came around. Yeah, her last short I think was in 2008. So
her short was in 2009, which is Round Town Girls, feature film, an hour and 18 minutes. 2008's Yeast, and she has acted in one or two other things, but not much. Yeah,
man, really good.
Good for her. Really good. How about that? Stick around, people. Okay, cool. So should we do the one that all three of us have seen?
Yeah, so I saw this, good luck, have fun, don't die, about 2 weeks ago, last week, and I texted them because we were taking a week off, listeners, and I was like,
last
guys.
Weekend, yeah.
Okay, I was like, guys, please see this so we can talk about it. So good luck, have fun, don't die. I'll just kick it off really quickly, and I want to hear your thoughts. Gore Verbinski directed, big cast full of people you're going to recognize: Sam Rockwell, Juno Temple, Haley Richardson, among others.
Michael Pena, Zazie Beetz. Come on, let's go.
Gore Verbinski does not make small movies. So the main thing that I was so intrigued by from a potential moviegoer was how little promotion this movie was getting when it had familiar faces and an A-list director. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then I saw it, and I think I get it. And I'm so glad we're going to talk about it. Guys, what did you think about this movie?
Dave?
Dude, I walked out of, I not even walked out of the theater. I'm sitting there in the first 20 minutes, and I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? This goes everything, everywhere, all at once out there.
For sure.
I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah. I would say
I was there for the ride.
I would say if you loved the comp, we don't need to comp every movie. We didn't comp the last one. But the comp is if you loved everything everywhere all at once, except instead of having, the multi-generation Asian storyline, this is more about AI and humanity. That's the relationship. Yeah. So obviously it's definitely a little motivated, not political, as in, DNR. But in the sense of
AI gets a serve, America gets a serve.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Yeah. Oligarchy versus et cetera. It definitely doesn't speak well of teens, but it does kind of put some blame towards technology companies and stuff. So it is sort of politically motivated, but it's fucking cool. I mean, it's futuristic. It is on the longer side though. I think Haley Lou Richardson is great. I feel like she's been blowing up, surely instead. She's been around for 10 years. But she was in White Lotus season 2 when they were in Italy. She was pretty prominent as Jessica, whatever her name is, his assistant, who ends up hooking up with the guy who's hooking up with the cousin, the uncles with the gays. So she's in that, and then she's in that movie. Anyway, she's great. Haley Lou Richardson's great in this movie.
She's in Ponies right now.
Ponies right now, yes. But Sam Rockwell holds it down. I think that's really the truth. Is you need somebody like that.
First 15 minutes is him doing a monologue.
I thought about that. I was like, what is that like on the page? And I bet you John talked to him one time about that George Clooney movie he directed. And he had a good conversation with you. I was like, I bet you John wishes he can see Sam Rockwell at the diner right now and ask him about this movie.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a look. But be prepared to go on a journey.
I'm going to go way harder. I feel like, one, it's Gore Verbinski. Yeah. So this movie is entertaining as fuck. It's funny.
He did the Pirates movies for anybody that doesn't know.
Yeah. I just want to go on record. Maybe one out of three hosts on this podcast is freaking the fuck out about AI, but I feel like this is the first studio scale film that is dealing with this shit for real.
Yeah.
This movie was unafraid to go there and say, what the fuck world are we living in? This is the first official, very high production satire and commentary on this that I've seen. Those throwaways that you guys are talking about, it's a Lost style where they go deep into these characters' circumstances and you understand how they got into this crazy night that they're trying to do.
It's like
one
you
of
get
them,
the
without
movie
giving it away,
with two Black Mirror episodes in the middle of it.
Yeah, one of them is so emotional. It's so dark and so fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
I just could not believe the courage they had to do it. And at the same time, I was like, I was thinking while I was watching it in a great way, it was just so thought-provoking. And afterwards, I was still totally in it. But afterwards, I was like, how the fuck is this the first time I'm seeing this happen?
Yeah.
Where somebody is really dealing with it. And I just want to say this, listeners, all the 100 of you.
And Black Mirror.
Please go see this movie, because this movie, like I said, is getting fucking buried. It's on like limited screens.
Yeah.
There is very little promotion for it. The machine does not want you to see this, because I think it's actually going to make people think about what the fuck is happening right now. And it's terrifying. And you need to think about it. I cannot believe we are driving full speed off the cliff. What the fuck is wrong with all of us?
So just
what the fuck is wrong with humanity?
Just as a reminder, since the Netflix and Paramount merger, we're talking about the wealthiest people, the Ellisons, trying to buy out the studio up against Netflix. You have Disney is ready to work with AI. You've got Bezos at Amazon, they have Amazon AI. They've been using AI and they're developing it like crazy. So this is the problem with corporate consolidation in this industry, is it turns into newspapers and they cut costs and they cut everything. I'm not surprised this is buried, and I'm not surprised that if you hadn't said anything, John, other than that movie poster where it looked like a foreign film to me, I would have never gone and seen this movie without you. So word of mouth, we got to spread it.
So sugar, medicine, sugar. How fucking funny was it, you guys? I was laughing so much.
Yeah.
It was funny. Well, I also love Sam Rockwell, and you figure out why he's like not. He doesn't seem too pressing about it. You know what I mean? Because you realize he's done it a million times. Things just make sense. Just stick it out. Makes sense. Yeah. Black Mirror does it well, and I'll say a lot of the best satires are pretty close to. They're like they're barely satires. I'll say that, and so that's why I like this one a lot. I like this one a lot.
Everybody, prescription here. Go see it.
Yep.
All right. Do your third film, John.
And I don't have to go too deep on this, but one of the Oscar-nominated foreign films was called "It Was an Accident" by Jafar Panahi, and this is an Iranian film, or at least I don't know if Iran is. I could easily look this up if one of y'all want to look this up while I'm talking.
He's going to get in trouble if he goes back to Iran. That's
exactly. I don't know if they submitted it as their foreign film, but it is set in Iran, and it is a very. It's on the slower side, as sometimes these foreign films are. So for American audiences, you might need to kind of sit into it and really see how the story is being told. But once you do, it's darkly funny, dealing with a very serious fucking topic about people, a group of people who believe that they have found someone who tortured them while they were in the regime's prison. These are citizens.
Oh.
And they're trying to decide if it's him and if they're going to kill him. And it is captivating and somehow funny. I know that's like, it's weird to say that, but it's not a comedy. It doesn't feel like that. But sometimes the antics and the absurdity and the intensity and there's the cycles and cycles they'll go around to try to solve the problem. It's very intimate. It's really, I don't know. I was taken by it. I got to see it at the DGA. It was good. If you feel like taking some chances on foreign film, my eyes were.
What a year for this year for foreign film, by the way.
Sure. Everything that's happening with Iran. Anyone who's got their eyes on the news at all or just hears about things peripherally, you know that shit's going down over there right now in a very bad way for most of the citizens of Iran who don't agree with what the regime is doing. This movie really just made it. It kind of just brought it home in a scary way for me that I didn't know that's what this movie was about. I don't know how it got released. I don't know how this exists. He stole a lot of shots. They did a lot of things illegally, as you have to do, I guess. But anyway, it was an accident. Worth watching.
Kudos. I also forgot to mention, we talked about, to go back to Gore Verbinski. He directed the Budweiser Frogs commercial.
Oh my God, did he?
Budweiser. That's one of the best commercials of all time. I think it was a Super Bowl commercial. That's one of the best commercials ever. Just 3 fucking frogs saying Budweiser. Each one says one syllable. It's fucking brilliant. He directed that.
Such an
also did A Cure for Wellness, The Weatherman, and he did fucking The Ring. I love The Ring. That gave me nightmares for sure.
I fucking love The Ring. And didn't he do Mouse Hunt or Mouse...
fucking hell with these foreign. Look at this. The Secret Agent. It was just an accent. Sentimental value. Sharat from Spain, and the voice of Hind Rajab is Tunisia. It was just an accident. John was submitted by France, probably on behalf. I think maybe he's in exile there, or not in exile. Maybe he has amnesty there. I forget the term. Like if you non-extradition, but you can work there. So France submitted it. Okay. Well,
Gore
Dave, you want to?
Did do Mouse Hunt.
You fucking nailed it. Dave, you want to bitch about anything before we get into our year in review?
No, let's go for it.
All right.
All I can say is fucking snow.
Fucking snow. You said it. All right. So I got my year here. Like I said, I do some fresh notes for us, and I am going to keep them snappy. I always say that, but I am this time. We like to start at the box office, 2004. What was the highest grossing movie from 2004, guys?
I'm going to
Box Office Mojo. Box Office Mojo this
I can't
week.
remember what came out in 2004.
All right.
We definitely have some, we have a Harry Potter. I think it's Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that your guess?
So that is definitely, I think that's my number one guess. Yeah, I'm going with that.
I think
Dave, I'm so sorry to say my stream deck doesn't work here, but John is very close. You came in second place. Second place.
Damn.
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban came in at number 2. Actually, number 1, believe it or not, was one of the only movies we've ever. Oh, there we go. I'm back. There it is. Yeah.
Born
actually,
Supremacy?
this is one of the only movies we talked about because it came up in our summer blockbuster face-off. The number 1 summer movie of this year was our number 1 movie at the box office, which was Shrek 2.
Oh,
Shrek
shit.
2.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's when it got eliminated.
Actually, was it? No, Shrek 1 got eliminated. Did we do Shrek 2? What the fuck? I don't remember this. We didn't do Superman 2. Fuck, I don't remember what we did.
Wait. I also have Spider-Man 2 coming out this year. Did that not get?
Yes, but that came in number 3.
Wow.
And that made it killer.
Wow.
So anyway, we'll talk about more about Shrek 2 in a second, but to round out the top 10, so we got our first 3, Shrek 2, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, which is 3, Spider-Man 2. The Incredibles comes in at number 4 with $631 million. Shrek 2 is under $1 billion at $929 million. Number 5, worldwide, The Passion of the Christ, $609 million worldwide, according to Box Office Mojo. 60% of that was
heard
domestic.
Anything more about the sequel he's making to that? And this is not a joke. He's actually making Passions too.
No, just like once a month I hear and it's really happening, and that's like it. I don't know.
Line.
The sequel's great. I can't wait to see what he does. What's next?
Yeah.
Anyway, The Day After Tomorrow comes in at number 6. Nice little disaster movie at $552 million. Meet the Fockers comes in at number 7 with $550 million for fucking Meet the Fockers. Troy comes in at number 8. What an opening.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt just wakes up in bed with 8 women who are attractive. And they're all waiting for him, and then he just fucking kills that huge dude. It's incredible. Number 9 is Shark Tale. And number 10, Ocean's 12 comes in at number 10 with $362 million. A couple other movies that made some money. National Treasure comes in at 12. Born Supremacy, John, comes in at 14. Van Helsing beat it at $300 million. The Polar Express. Fahrenheit 9/11 made $222 million. Good for you, Michael Moore. That also won, I think, the Palme d'Or. Collateral, The Terminal, $1 Million Baby did well. The Aviator made 200. I could keep going, but I'll just say this. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. There's 3 big things about this year. Number 1, biopics. You have Alexander, The Aviator, Beyond the Sea, Finding Neverland, Hotel Rwanda, Kinsey, Motorcycle Diaries, and Ray. All came out this year. And guess what? Most of those were men. So this is actually just a really good year for men on the whole. And the other thing is, a lot of movies made money.
Men are getting a fair go finally.
Yeah, in 2004, we really, really deserved it, right? We just kind of sent us to war and lied about it. Napoleon Dynamite was the 101st highest grossing movie. So
buzz myself
top
for that.
100, and it made $46 million worldwide. So 100 movies made almost $50 million worldwide. 100, that's 2 a week, grossing $50 million worldwide. 57 movies made $100 million. And again, this is in 2004. We didn't even have a single billion-dollar movie like 2015 where you had $5 billion movies. So 57 movies made $100 million. That's pretty good. that's pretty great that many movies did really well. Shrek 2, I'll just go back to that before we talk about some other movies. It set a new record for total gross by an animated film, making it the highest grossed animated film of all time, which would be surpassed by Toy Story 3 in 2010, of course, but a 6-year run back then is pretty damn good. Despicable Me, yada, yada, yada. And it was actually the highest grossing non-Disney or Universal animated film, Shrek 2, of course, until it was passed this past year by Ninja 2, which I'm the only one out of the three of us that saw it in theaters because I like to be a part of the culture. Spider-Man 2 reached $200 million domestic in a record time of 8 days. And The Passion of the Christ, I think, is still the highest grossing R-rated movie domestically of all time. It was spread pretty thin between Oscars, BAFTAs, Critics' Choice, etc. Million Dollar Baby would win Best Director, Best Film, and Best Actress for Hilary Swank. So Clint Eastwood won 2 awards there. But the Critics' Choice went with Sideways. And guess what? Ooh, yeah. The Producers Guild... The Producers, Directors, Screen Actors, and Writers Guilds and BAFTA all went for The Aviator as the best film for ensemble, best cast, etc. So The Aviator got a lot of love. Jamie Foxx did pretty much a clean sweep for Ray, except Leo DiCaprio got drama at the Golden Globes. Ray, of course, got the musical or comedy win for Ray. Best Actress would go to Hilary Swank, but Imelda Staunton, who haunts Dave's dreams still from Harry Potter, won the BAFTA for Vera Drake. Annette Bening won the musical or comedy for Being Julia. And supporting actor Morgan Freeman for Million Dollar Baby, even though he had like a fucking hour of screen time. And Cate Blanchett won for The Aviator, but Natalie Portman for Closer got a lot of love as well. And then our movie won 1 award. Kate Winslet was nominated this year, but it won 1 award, which was Adapted Screenplay. No, sorry. Original screenplay. I'm really fucking... Yeah, this is what I got. Adapted screenplay went to Sideways. Adapted screenplay. And I don't know how this works, but Charlie Kaufman has a screenplay credit. Michel Gondry and Pierre Bismuth have story credits, but they also got Oscars this year. I feel like in 2026, they wouldn't necessarily qualify. So maybe they just changed the categories, and so therefore they changed how they were billed. But all 3 of them collected. But now that I've seen other Charlie Kaufman movies, this one makes a lot of sense. But this is Charlie Kaufman's lone Oscar, and I'll give him the majority of the credit for it. That's it. I forget if I mentioned Finding Neverland, but that also made some money. And Kate Winslet was not nominated for that because she was instead nominated for Eternal Sunshine.
Wow. What a year.
Yeah. Okay. You want to do a little year in review? I promise I'll be quick. I promise. Okay. W. Bush was reelected over John Kerry despite 9/11 and despite wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Kind of big news in 2023 and 2024.
We just said it was a great year.
Him and Dick Cheney had to go in front of like the 9/11 commission or whatever, but I believe it was behind closed doors and they just lied or some shit. Martha Stewart was sentenced to prison for 5 months for what she did. Can you believe the shit that is happening on a daily basis now? And honestly. Martha Stewart had to go to prison.
And Martha
Stewart had to go to prison. Not jail.
All these fucking cunts in the Epstein files and Martha Stewart with the fucking prison. Give me a break, dude.
How about that?
What the fuck?
Fucking love Martha Stewart. I watched that documentary.
For making pot brownies.
She probably knew about the sale. She probably knew about it, but whatever.
Who cares?
Fuck, yeah. At this point, get the fuck out of here. The Last Oldsmobile. Am I slurring? I don't know. I have my noise canceling on my headphones. Thank you.
You did say Oldsmobile. Odes to the mobile.
All right, well, the Last Oldsmobile came off the assembly line at the Lansing Car Assembly Plant in Michigan, thus ending the 106-year-old automotive brand. Mark Zuckerberg launched Facebook from a Harvard dorm room. Google introduced
thousands of teens.
Jesus
and it's still going on. And now he's taking advantage of that trauma on a daily basis, according to this lawsuit. And Google introduced the free email service Gmail, 2004. What a year.
Wow.
It's still kicking.
The most popular web browser. What was the most popular web browser in 2004?
Netscape.
Netscape Navigator had a 0.18% market share. I'm glad I saved that after this. No, guys, Internet Explorer had a 90% market share. 90% market share, followed by Mozilla Firefox at 5% and Safari at 0.7% and Opera. Remember Opera? People that had Opera and you're like, what the fuck are you doing with that?
No.
1 in 20 people at
Microsoft buy
Opera.
Internet Explorer, and then it didn't do much after that?
Good purchase for them. But Google was the most popular search engine. That's right. They were just a search engine company at this time with a market share of 35%. So they were still on their ascent, followed by Yahoo at 32%, MSN, AOL, Excite, Ask Jeeves, and others at 2%. Average life expectancy was 77 years, up from 76 the year before. Sorry, that's a 1 year increase. 33 million people watched the final episode of Frasier.
Sitting there in New Year's, like, did he die? No? Okay, the average age is 77 now.
Yeah. Defying the odds. Frasier had its final episode, 33 million people. Friends began its final season in 2004. A couple pricing things, a 20 ounce. It's pretty fun. A 20-ounce loaf of bread cost $2. A dozen eggs is $1.49, and 5 pounds of white potatoes cost $1.99. The median annual income was $45,000, and the minimum wage was $5.05 because who gives a fuck about people who make not a lot of money, you know?
Yeah.
Median cost of a new home was $209,000, while the average price was $262,000.
You can live on that, right?
You know what? I'm gonna say it. The Tony Awards came out this year, and it was very interesting because Wicked did not win Best Musical, Best Book, or Best Score. They lost Best Musical and Best Score to Avenue Q in 2004. Wicked technically came out around Halloween 2003.
Nothing on earth can compare with the internet as for porn.
Oh my God. My mom got me that mouse pad, and I was like, this is weird.
Yeah.
It said,
someone's walked in the right room or wasn't looking.
Hey, shut up, Dave, shut up. And you know what? I'm gonna spend a half a second talking about names, because 2004 means I teach at a college. 2026, guess what? That means that people born in 2024 are essentially graduating from college this year or within a year or two. So people in 2024.
Not 2024. You didn't just fuck up the math. You missed.
Man, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. I don't know what is happening. This is why I just hope one of these microphones works. I don't care about anything else I say.
So far, it sounds
After 3 years at the top, Emily has been unseated by Emma. I'm sure that had nothing to do with Friends naming their daughter Emma. I'm sure this season before. As the most popular girl name in the United States, while Jacob remains the nation's most popular boy name for the 4th year in a row. Now, here's the thing, though, and anybody who's ever worked with kids is going to know this. For the first time ever, Ella and Ava moved into the top 50 baby names. How about that? Along with Samantha, pushing out Haley, Abigail, and Sarah. Hayden, a name that also first entered in the top 50 in 2003, continued a rapid ascent along with Logan and Jaden. So tell me you don't know any Logans, Jadens, and Cadens, or Ellas and Avas. So many Ellas and Emmas and Avas, and it's wild. And this trend all started right here in 2024.
2004?
What did I say?
2024.
Did I say it again?
You did it again.
Should we remind people that we drink on the show, or do you think they get a reminder?
That's what this means, remember?
We got to get a button for a funny little jingle.
I will say I had a very healthy dinner, and I think the more unhealthy dinner you have, the more it soaks it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
The top 5 most popular TV shows in reverse order are Survivor Vanuatu, Survivor Palau. I guess they had 2 seasons. I don't know. Survivor had 5 and 4.
Vanuatu and Survivor what?
Palau.
Okay.
Desperate Housewives comes in at number 3. CSI Crime Scene Investigation, I hope with William Peterson still, was number 2. And number 1, can you guys guess? Number 1 show, 2004?
Was it Law and Order?
Guys, it's American Idol. Every time I ask you this, it's American Idol.
I got it. I said it.
Guys, SVU would be the number 1 show if you say, what do most people watch in syndication while they're in a hospital? Then that would be the answer, but...
what
or while they're knitting in another room.
I love the show that isn't a cash grab and taking advantage of everyone.
That's literally what a number 1 show is. Okay, you guys ready to finish it out with some top 10 cool food and beverage trends from 2004?
4.
Sure.
Okay.
Number 10, sushi. Number 9, Planters cheese balls. That's cheese with a Z.
Sounds sexy.
Number 8, olive oil. Olive oil is a food and beverage trend.
Can I have a double of olive oil, thanks?
John for shaking his head. High C. For example, blazing blueberry, boppin' strawberries, strawberry kiwi craze, orange lava burst, and wild cherry. High C all had a good year here in 2004.
I want that purple stuff.
No wonder everyone's dying this year.
Giant hunks of meat comes in at number 6, influenced by the Atkins diet. Influenced by the Atkins diet. I don't know who comes up with these lists.
For porn.
It sounds like one person does these lists. Number 5, fruit smoothies. For example, mango yogurt smoothies. John, you like a good smoothie.
Sure, yeah.
Cupcakes and mini cupcakes comes in at number 4. Number 3,
Mini
comfort
cupcakes.
foods. For example, chicken pot pie's been on the list before. There you go. And pizza. Okay, people like to eat. I don't know. It's weird that you're just like, comfort foods. People like macaroni, cheese, and pizza and sex. Like, of course. Number 2, brown butter pasta.
Mm.
Brown butter pasta. And the number 1 food and beverage trend from 2004. I can attest to this because I basically was told I had high cholesterol right after this. Bacon. Bacon.
The number 1 food forever is bacon.
I need a jingle to play right after I say the final one.
Shut the fuck up, Jeff.
I'll take that instead. Guys, are you ready to finally talk about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
Dear God, yes.
Absolutely.
What do you think? You say, dear God, yes, but I feel like 38 minutes is it's not too bad for us. It's not too bad.
Let's do it.
Okay, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. This is available right now on Hulu, people.
Welcome to everyone
Right
who
this
skipped
very
over the
second.
first part.
Thank you. Welcome back. Welcome back. We put it back in our pants, and we are ready to go.
2 out of 3 of us did.
Stop.
Jesus.
So as I said not too long ago, Michel Gondry, directed this movie, and he has a story credit with Pierre Bismuth, but it was written by Charlie Kaufman, who I have to say, the first time I saw this movie, I don't know if I'd seen any of his movies. Now that I've seen Being John Malkovich and I've seen Adaptation like 10 times and I've seen Anomalisa, this movie is not so weird. You know what I mean? Like now that I've seen the other Charlie Kaufmans, I know this is actually after Being John Malkovich, but it's like, oh, pretty normal movie actually.
Well, Michel Gondry's feature debut was Human Nature, one of Charlie's originals. Yeah.
Ugh.
Several years before this. Yeah.
Remember when Charlie Kaufman won the BAFTA for adaptation, but he also credited his brother who doesn't exist, so he won 2 BAFTAs?
Yeah, dude. That's so good. God, that's good.
As always, so you've all seen this movie before, I imagine. Dave,
he has not. Dave has not.
I have not.
Right? Yes. Yes. That's why it's such a cool thing. And he gave it a gold star. I love it.
Fuck.
So read the fucking blurb so Dave can talk about it.
You guys got to talk me up. All right. I'm going to read the IMDb description like I always do. Jim Carrey, Kate Winslet, Tom Wilkinson, what a hero. Elijah Wood, right after the Lord of the Rings movies. Mark Ruffalo, Kirsten Dunst, casual little cast.
Yeah.
When their relationship turns sour, a couple undergoes a medical procedure to have each other erased from their memories forever. What'd you think? What'd you feel? Dave? It looks like John's pimping you out. What do you think?
I can tell you, this didn't just get a gold star from me. This got a gold star from my wife, too, because she sat down on the couch and we watched this together. And
that was her first time watching it?
No. It's one
I can see this being one of Teresa's favorite movies.
It absolutely is. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, my God. It kind of feels like it takes place in Queens, by the way, where we met and where Dave still lives. In a story.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they shot a lot of stuff around here.
It's in Rockville.
Yeah.
Remember he says it at one point.
Guess what? That's literally where I teach. I teach at a college. By the way, that exterior is not Rockville. That was Queens as fuck. Like I've been to Rockville Center. That is not Rockville Center. No,
yeah,
Rockville Center.
Okay, we'll set it there, but we'll film it in Queens. Dude, like the only thing that threw me off right at the beginning was the palette was very washed out. I realized by choice. But because when they go back, like there's scenes that repeat later and they go back and do it, but the color timing is different in the scene. Like there's more skin tone and stuff like that. This was I found out I'm like going through this phase where I like movies that are like out there and unexpected and just a little bit.
That's why we let John choose our movies.
Yeah, a little bit sci-fi. And this is just a great watch. The pacing is so good. I don't think anyone but Carrey could have done this role. And I would argue that. No one else but him.
And it's a big risk because this was one of his first dramatic roles.
Yeah.
I mean, he had the Truman Show a couple years before and stuff, if you count that.
But he's still big and broad in some of that performance, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas this one
we'll come back to that in a second.
This one he does have to do some comical things, and they do let it up. It's a very contained performance. So it was
like 99% not Jim Carrey doing that, though.
Well, yeah, because 98% is so far off the wall it's not funny. So
I think the number's a little higher. Lower.
Yeah.
Anyway, not by much. But
I really enjoyed Kate Winslet in this. I'm wondering, was their hair color thing, did that inspire Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim?
I had thought about that when I first saw Mary Elizabeth.
Immediately it gets points in my book for that association. I just enjoyed this a lot.
Anything that reminds Dave of his favorite movie,
yeah,
gives a gold star too. I'm kidding, Dave. No, you're 100% right. All right. Okay. This is only my second time watching it all the way through. This is also one of those movies where it was on TV a lot, and so I would come in and out of watching it. And it was also the cool kid kind of movie, you know what I mean? It was like the artsy crowd that you had the cool kids that smoked weed and then the cool kids that didn't smoke weed that loved this movie. And I remember the first time I watched it, and it wasn't what I was expecting. And because I think the trailer, the pitch was the memory thing. And I think the original trailer and pitch, and I could be so wrong because it was over 20 years ago, was that she got the procedure. And I didn't know that the whole movie, for the most part, was going to be actually in his brain. And so I think that, sorry, not to spoil too much of this 22-year-old very famous movie, but I think that there was something about that right there that threw me off the first time I watched it. I liked it more this time. I'm not surprised. This movie is the kind of movie that you would even Dave, who gave it a gold star this first time after the first watch, you watch it again in a year or two, you're probably gonna like it even more, kind of knowing. So you're gonna talk me into the gold star. All I'll say, so I love it. It's amazing. Tom Wilkinson is a fucking hero. I love Tom Wilkinson. That scene where he comes in with Mark Ruffalo. I mean, the best scene in the movie really is. Well, I think the two scenes towards the end, the one where it's the last time and Jim Carrey knows that his memory is getting erased. And then when you realize, when they come back together, I think those are the two best scenes of the movie. But the scene where Tom Wilkinson walks in and Mark Ruffalo and Kirsten Dunst are high and they've been drinking and he has to save the day and his suspicion on his eyeballs, that is like a masterclass. Tom Wilkinson is so fucking good. I'm glad that I hope he just said yes right away, but I hope that they were like, we're not about picking favorites here. This character, we need this. Especially with the fallout that comes later. We need Tom Wilkinson to come in here. And I feel like he is so important to this movie. And we can talk about Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet all you want, but I feel like those are the connective pieces that make this a fantastic movie, is him coming in there in that moment and being the villain, essentially, without you ever thinking he is. Brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
There's a part of me this time watching it, and maybe I'll rewatch it and I'll forget it all. When Jim Carrey's in his brain, he became Jim Carrey again. And I was like, at the beginning and the end, I didn't get that at all. And he turned, it wasn't just the kids and stuff. It kind of felt like he was doing some goofy stuff. And he is brilliant. He's amazing. I'm not saying he's not, but I'm still thinking about it. So convince me otherwise. Otherwise, I think it's a brilliant movie. And you're right, Dave. Kate Winslet is fucking awesome in this movie. And I love that she's a lead, of course, a co-lead. But really, the entire movie is from his point of view. Not just like a first-person narrative, but literally in his brain. And I think the way she handles that, the bold choices she makes, also the direction of the perspective where you never think that she's in charge. You never think, which gives her more freedom, not less, is brilliant. Okay, John.
Yeah, I mean, everything you guys are saying, I think this movie is a masterpiece.
Okay.
I think it's also interesting to point out, you were asking, what do they get story credits and then still receive it? Just to make everybody understand, this is a really unique film in Kaufman's canon because it's one of his only very well received assignments. Bismuth came to Gondry with the concept. They developed an idea together and then took it to Charlie Kaufman for him to write a screenplay. Charlie introduced the love story. It was just going to be, we don't have to, speculate on what it was, but apparently the love story wasn't as much a part of it. It was more about just the idea of erasing memories and what that does to people. So he gave it that wonderful glue, which I think most people, you call it that sad Valentine's, but this is still this is one of my favorite love movies about just love and relationships and being human stories. I went pretty deep on this movie at the film school I went to, and this wonderful class that I think I talked about on here at one point when I was in it about it was memory in cinema.
Yeah, you talked
and all these different ways that people deal with it.
We've done other movies that you talked about in the class, right? Sorry, not to cut you off.
Lots of other ones: Watermelon Woman, Interstellar. So many.
Yeah, wait, what class was this?
Stop. Sure. I think you're trying to make a USC joke, and I'm going to buzz you for that. Fuck you.
So I do think the main, and I mean this with all due respect to all those amazing actors you just named, like, I can't believe all those people are in this ensemble film. Like, it's kind of insane that a small budget film, $20 million, I think, when it was made, that's still pretty modest, even for 2004. Yeah. Michel Gondry was not a household name. He did a lot of music videos.
So many music videos.
One feature before.
Kaufman was.
Kaufman was, for sure.
Yeah.
That is different. I think people around town already got excited after Adaptation and being John Malkovich.
People are surprised he didn't win an Oscar for Adaptation, because adaptations matter, but then he did not win, Kaufman.
Definitely a good job on Bismuth and Gondry for going to him, because they knew they were going to be able to get financing because he was going to write this screenplay. Like, good move.
Yeah.
But I think it's really cool that he won. Anyway, I just want to point out a couple of concepts, which is why I think, despite the amazing performances, I don't watch this movie for performances. This is a masterclass in editing and aesthetics. Yeah. So aesthetics is some blend of philosophy, of beauty, taste, style, the visual, the sensual. Your sound is there too. And the main thing that we talked about in this class that I thought was just, it really gave me a good context to kind of think about how advanced the storyboarding and design and concept, the conceptualizing of, because Bismuth is a visual artist, people. The guy who created the story with Michel Gondry is a visual artist. That's important to think about. And it plays into why I think this movie is so well designed. We ended up talking a lot about the German verb, a word for unheimlich or unhomely, which means unfamiliar, and is loosely, if you build upon that, it gets to the concept of uncanny. And how, as you start to become familiar and unfamiliar with something, you enter that space of uncanny, which is what memory does on its own anyway. It doesn't matter if you're having your memory erased. Every memory is a memory of a memory. That's like kind of what they understand about it at this point.
Yeah.
So the fact that he was able to do that conceptually through a narrative, to do exactly what you're talking about, Dave. You watch this over and over and over again, and you'll realize, the color's different on that. The window was blown out when they established this, but now in the memory, the window's not blown out. And, the way that they changed all of those things, it was so incredibly well designed.
That wasn't the thing that got me. The transitions was the thing that got me.
I mean, a million, right? And almost no CGI. Almost all of it's done with actual tactile, analog lighting.
There's a ton of CGI in this.
There is, but it's not, dude, it is not a ton of, it's not the thing that makes all of that stuff. So much of those effects,
dude, there are
when
scenes,
he walks out of the bookstore.
There are scenes where he's walking down the street and elements are disappearing as they erase.
That's what I would say is the obvious stuff. And honestly, I feel like that's like the cheaper stuff when they're in Grand Central and people are disappearing. Okay. Yeah. How about the scene when he's walking back and forth from the car wreck? And he keeps going the wrong way and turning around. That was incredible. That's not like when they're in the amazing beach house sequence.
My favorite one is when he's in the library and he runs down the corridor and
back
through the door.
His friend's apartment.
Yeah, but the library blacks out behind him. It was like, and that's simply a set construction transition, and that was perfect.
Well, I love. Sorry but just in this moment, I love that they showed you that it's a set. When they did the Barnes & Noble to his apartment. Because I remember thinking at the time, I was like, now I know it's a set. That was really cool. I'm impressed. But that was the only time in the movie where it was obvious that it was a set. And I was like, it's almost like they said, we know. We're not trying to show off for you. We don't fuck. It's not about that. It's about the story.
Yeah,
because that's the only time where it's it's obviously a fucking soundstage.
Everything served the story. It's like the quick cutaway in the store and it cuts back and all the books are blank.
Yeah, I think they do it quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
But it makes it feel.
Oh, yeah, it's a ton of
anyone who likes Michel Gondry's.
Well,
movies,
I mean, in the house when you turn
stuff.
and then it's sand and stuff like that, that's not obvious to me. It's obvious when you go in a different room and it's very clearly like a sitcom set. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So I feel like the only point, I don't know if I finished it there, is just that despite it's a combination of that's happening, which is extremely sensory overload, especially if you're watching it for the first time. What I don't think you lose, which is the real the magic of this movie, is you don't lose the emotional through line, which is that's it, right? That's the whole point of this story.
As well, halfway through the story, they introduced a B story.
Yeah. Talk about it.
It's kind of like I feel like the thought process behind it was we're getting like we're just doing the same gag over and over again. So we need to have a distraction so that the B story kicks off so that the A story can still function. But the B story just comes out of nowhere, which is great. But when it comes out of nowhere, it's kind of like, I think I knew that the whole time.
Wait, which was the B story?
The B story
you're talking about
was Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
And it also serves the end of the film.
But like, this is so well written. It is fucking interwoven into that A story, though, that it's so good. And also, Elijah Wood, the first time I saw this movie, I was too young, I think. And I was like, is he good? Is he bad? I forgot he's supposed to be like that.
Dude, when he got slapped down and yelled at to go away.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
I love that moment. I was like, he had that coming a lot.
And he's such a piece of shit. He's such a piece of shit. The only girl he can get is one where he knows her dreams and memories and steals memorabilia from her former lover. I mean, that improved for me so much the second time. That's amazing.
And he did it so well.
He saved Middle Earth and then he became a despicable person in Queens. Yeah.
Dude, he's been having fun ever since with his roles.
I feel like John keeps trying to make profound points and we're coming back, but it's like, we're on the same page.
No, I do want to hear, because like I've seen this movie quite a few times.
How did The Pianist beat Charlie Kaufman for fucking adaptation? How did The Pianist beat him for adaptation? Pianist is a fine movie, but come on, for adaptation? Pianist?
It was good.
Pianist was good. Anyway, Charlie Kaufman, I'm glad you got your Oscar.
It's very good. It's very good. I mean, this stuff is very quirky, right? It's it's a little esoteric. It's a little strange. That's not for everybody. I think this made the New York Times 21st Century's Top 100. It's number 7, I believe, for 21st Century Top 100 movies so far.
I'll accept that.
I think it's well earned. I think this movie is so. I guess I want to hear y'all talk a little bit more, because Jeff, you've seen it twice.
All the way through twice, and then again, I watched so much on TV when I was just at home that there's so many movies I've seen. Large chunks of it. I'm not talking about Instagram, TikTok, that kind of stuff. I mean, 20, 30-minute chunks of this, on the train sequences, some of the memory relapse, the opening sequence, the ending, a lot of endings, but 2 times start to finish. Yeah.
I guess I want to call out, and maybe y'all could talk, I want to hear you just talk about this a little bit. And again, this is it's very these filmmakers. So I'm not saying it's somewhere in the ether and they just happen to make this kind of film this one time, but we are living in a period right now where I think the stuff that seems to be getting made and sold has to do with the rich people, or it's high concept, or it's in a gorgeous setting. One of my favorite things about this movie is that it's not melodramatic, and it's extremely pedestrian and features 2 very working class people. And even the technology is not Stark Enterprises, it's like it's some fucking hole in the wall in Queens.
It's a colander with some shit bolted onto it. Like,
it's a colander.
So did that make you feel?
Does he sleep on a pull-out sofa?
Yes.
I don't know if that's his actual bed, but I think he did that for them so that they could have access to it.
So
I thought about that a lot. Like, why is he sleeping on the couch?
But even so, she comes in and there's like a mattress leaning up against the wall. They're not trying to be nice. They're not trying to impress each other. Sorry, John, you finished your point. Ask your question.
I guess, let me just ask this a different way. Like, do you guys feel the tingles in your tummy and your heart for, like, are you rooting for them? Do you feel like you're watching a love story that you care about? And if so, like,
absolutely.
I feel like their way into it is just so unique that it touches me in a different way. And this is extremely bittersweet because of, as soon as the cold open of this movie is over and you realize what's actually going to happen, it's heartbreaking to watch them play it out.
Dude,
because you were so with him.
This whole movie happens like Memento. It's backwards, and you're getting the story, but you're getting it out of order completely.
It's Memento with emotion.
Yeah. Yeah,
right? With spirit. It's got a spirit,
Dave,
it's got emotion, it's got a heart.
Dave, when did you realize that you missed a gigantic chunk of time? It seems like it's like a couple of days, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, what? It starts at the end, but then you also see some things before the end, and then
I got it straight away, straight at the beginning.
Nice.
I was like,
that's pretty great.
I knew exactly what had happened.
Because they were meeting for the first time, and you kind of had an idea of what this movie was about.
Because there were just little red flags about, like, you meet someone and they're a little too familiar or something. And I was like,
when they did the thing,
if that's not this, then there's fucking red flags everywhere about this relationship.
So when he starts to explain the first time they met was at his brother's party or whatever, and he was dating somebody else, and you're like, wait, I thought we saw the first time they met. You had already figured that out.
Oh yeah, I saw that coming.
Again, I loved knowing that she erased him, and I didn't need to know that he erased her, but that's okay. I was past that. Okay, I'm gonna raise it to the. I knew I was gonna raise it to a gold star, but I'm gonna raise it to a gold star. But here's why. I'm gonna explain why I'm raising it to a gold star, which is the last 30 minutes of this movie really fucked me up this time. It really it was so good this time, and I'll go back to my Jim Carrey stuff about before, and here's what I'll say. I was rooting for them the whole time, yes, but for some reason it's fresher in my head. This last 30 minutes is really cutting deep. So it's kind of like when she's sitting there like, should we go back together? And you do hear them say why they broke up. I feel like it's also done really well where Jim Carrey's, I don't necessarily believe him because he has the advantage of knowing that she erased him. So he could be embellishing his speech to Tom Wilkinson. I need to erase her because she, whatever.
The tape recordings, is that what you're talking about? Playing them
yeah, because it kind of seems like he was exaggerating. That's just my take. Whereas her, I kind of believe it, and he gave us no reason to think he wasn't boring and that the sex, he gave us no reason to think that what she was saying was false. Anyway, regardless, they have that moment. And I actually love how much was not said. I love that in my best screenplays. When they're like, just wait, why? I don't know, but just wait, just cause.
Yeah.
As opposed to sitting there and saying what any other movie probably would have said, which is, we erased each other and then we found each other again. That's pretty crazy, right? We should talk about it. Nope,
yeah, and
they didn't say that.
You're kind of leaning forward and
I think that's
say
cool.
Say it.
So I think that gives it a gold star for me, but even more than that, they said all this nasty shit about each other in their tapes and they heard segments of it, but enough to know how it ended. And the worst feelings they had of each other when it ended. But in Jim Carrey's mind, and maybe it's the same for hers, I would love to have the sequel in hers. We'll never get it, of course. He was the Jim Carrey that we know and love. Goofy, fun, ridiculous, like all kids are. Something in life, I'm not blaming society, even though we just went through our year in review and we talked about Good Luck, Don't Die, whatever the fuck that movie is called. We all saw. We saw that, and we can blame society for why Jim Carrey is that charming and that amazing, and then he was so fucking sad and just makes little charts in his book and journals and shit and doesn't talk to people. But it's so amazing to know that it's like, you know what? That charming, amazing, sweet person that she knows and loves is there. And maybe they just needed another crack at it. And maybe this is why when you have lovers and relationships that aren't going well, they talk about it and then things, and it's not like they're just figuring out how to get by.
Sometimes you meet someone when you're not ready for that level of relationship, but then it comes back around and you are.
Okay. All right. So now we're into the philosophy a little bit of it, but I got to say, I think the older I get, that's what I thought when I first saw it, for sure. The older I get, I think the more I feel that it's not that they know. I'm not saying they intellectualized it and they're doing this as a means to an end, but I think we're supposed to know they're not going to make it again. The point is that they need the pain to have life. Ignorance
I think you're just old and cynical.
Memory brings pain, but memory also brings meaning, and they lost it. I think, remember, in the middle of his struggle, he was realizing, please let me keep this one. Like, I don't want to lose that something that was so meaningful to me. That was the entire point of it. So I wanted to ask you guys very specifically, because this always fucks me up, and it's just fun to think about. There's no answers here. I love the ending of this movie so much. Do you guys remember the final shot of this movie? They're in the hall.
They're in the hallway.
Which one?
The final scene of this movie is they're in the hall, and she basically is saying, they're having the conversation of like, but if we do this again, I'm going to annoy you and you're going to annoy me. And Jim Carrey basically says, so,
yeah.
And she's like, okay. And he says, okay. And then that's the last dialogue. But then it cuts to that scene of them on the beach. She has her orange hair already. This is not a forward thing. This is a past thing. And it shows a loop of them running and playing in the snow, which always fucks with my head so much. And it basically makes me, it just drives home the point that I'm saying now. I don't think they're going to make it. And I don't think that's the point. If they make it, that'd be fine. But if they don't, the real point is that they're willing to risk getting hurt again so that they can have that much to carry with them in the future.
Here's my thoughts. I disagree. I think they could make it, and I think they're more likely to make it now. And I think this movie is not fatalistic. It's not about whether or not they'll make it, because what is that? It's basically their decision. You know, it's not about fate, whether or not they're the perfect match to each other. It's whether or not they decide to stay together, whether or not things are working well enough. I think knowing that they erase each other once and that they're back together again is going to make that. I think maybe Jim Carrey making the realization, like, no, not this one, not this one. And I think we're supposed to believe that that was deleted too. But, you know, maybe that
either way, it doesn't matter,
maybe the
right?
point of this movie is you can go into yourself when times are hard and say, why was this buried when they were leaving?
Dude, whatever was
why didn't he know? Why didn't he recognize that when it was getting bad and he was about to lose her?
Whatever was happening to him was not working well.
And same thing vice versa, I'm sure, too. But why didn't they recognize these good memories? Why do they need to be excavated and be caught in an excavation loop while people are getting high and stoned to be there and be like, oh my God, wait, these good times were worth the hard times that sank our relationship. So instead of sinking our relationship, let's just focus on the good times. That's how I interpreted it, John. So that's why you're a pessimist and I'm an optimist, no matter how cynical we are.
I think there's still something really beautiful. I am totally the friend that if one of my friends is going through a breakup, and I've had to say this to myself before, like, you want to erase that chapter in your life, don't. Like, that is a part of your life. You learn something from it. It's beautiful. You gave your vulnerability to somebody else. That's a chapter of your book, man. Fucking keep writing. Like, that's the whole fucking point.
Really? Because the girl obviously
delete the naked pictures.
Bury her in the forest. Like,
delete the naked pictures. Bury her in the forest. What? With the show got off the rails.
Well, I feel like what's so beautiful is that either way it works, right? Yay if they make it. Yeah. And if they don't, they're still getting experience back. They're still going to create and hold and harbor memory.
They can leave you with two distinctly different impressions.
Well, and can I say back to you, because you two both mentioned the filmmaking before, or at least we're only talking about this because the filmmaking was on point. We're only talking about this because this was so well taken care of.
Yeah, bring us home with the pacing thing, because this movie could be the headiest, most indulgent.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah. It could be over the top and too surreal and too self-indulgent. The pacing is talk about it for a second, why it worked so well for you.
Well, it was like at some points we're going backwards through memories, and this led to this, which led to this, which led to this. And then sometimes it was a completely different memory all in all. But they never left you too long in any one particular memory. You got what you needed, they moved on. And like I said, the transitions between them were a case of like he may turn around and the scene has shifted. So, and they did it all, they did all that practically.
And I just love so much too that, again, conceptually, design-wise, they did, like I'm agreeing with you totally. And also, Kaufman gave them this wonderful urgency on the page by saying, you're running. you're trying to hide these memories. So it gave them this immediacy.
Well, there was a ticking clock, everything. It's like the memories are going. You're going to run out of these eventually.
I just feel like this is such a... I know you can do this in other mediums, but movies are so good at this. I was thinking about this today. I'm like writing something. I was thinking about this today. Callbacks are, I think for most audience members, they're aware of callbacks. They're kind of seeing how things play out more than a total forgetfulness of like, oh my God, I didn't think about that. I didn't see it coming. Or you're kind of seeing how things play out. This is such a good example of how emotional that cold open is, that by the time they finish the morning, they finish the night and he wakes up in the morning again, you're so heartbroken, even though you already know they've already met each other again.
Yeah.
They've already had another great night. Like they're already beginning again. And yet you feel exactly what he would feel if he knew what you knew.
Well, I feel like they carefully guide you down that path to the point like you have, it starts with nice is the word he uses. Nice, nice, nice. And then he almost catches himself doing it. He's like, I had the best night of my fucking life. And I'm like, that's
she says
growth.
Nice, and he says, yeah.
Yeah, he shows growth. He's able to analyze himself.
John sounds more and more like Albert Brooks as he ages, by the way. Did that not just sound like Merlin from Nemo?
I love it.
No,
all right, so I'm gonna ask you, it's not really a red flag, and it's not really a criticism, but it does, I think about it every time it happens, because it is almost in that, as unbelievable as the science of this movie is. I know you're not supposed to take it too literally. Did the meet me in Montauk work for you guys? That last whisper of memory from her.
Yep. 100%.
You know why it worked for me? It worked for me because when we went back to the train station, he didn't hear it out loud. They didn't turn into Meet Me in Montauk. Where did that come from?
Can't you hear some fucking studio head saying that? Can't we get a voiceover there just so people know exactly where we are?
I was like,
I just want them to understand exactly what's happening. I don't want anyone to be confused at this moment.
Dude, I leaned forward in my chair. I'm like, fuck, she incepted him. And I was like,
basically, Inception for sure.
And he did it to himself.
Yeah.
And look,
right?
That came after this, because you know what? This is their memories, yes, but we also dream not in memories. So the fact that he's going through his brain and these memories it was brilliant. Yeah, you can just see the inspiration of.
All right, I'm going to read just because I think it's so lovely, and it's one of my favorite moments in the movie, and not just because it's beautiful writing by Mr. Alexander Pope, but it's the last moment of the movie that you think there's something pure and beautiful about the idea of erasing pain. And the way the knife gets turned right after that with Kirsten Dunst when she realizes what the fuck has happened to her, the beauty of this quote just disappears entirely, and you realize, no, right? You just had this feeling. When she says, how happy is the blameless Vestal's lot, the world forgetting but the world forgot, eternal sunshine of the spotless mind, each prayer accepted and each wish resigned. Ignorance is not fucking worth it, right?
Yeah.
It's just,
you learn from your mistakes and your experiences.
That's why Joe Pantoliano in The Matrix is short-sighted when he says ignorance is bliss with the steak.
I also think this movie makes me think... I also feel like this movie makes me think very specifically about how they deal with some core memories that he humiliation, his mom walking on him when he's jacking off, and when he's little and he's like, once he's under the table. I love that line. It's crazy how strong I feel like I want her to hold me. Yeah. It's nuts how strong that feeling is, how mad I am that she's not picking me up.
Yeah.
But other than that, those core memories are kind of buried somewhere else. I love that Charlie Kaufman, who always uses romance. I know that's like his thing. He's a yearning man.
Anomalisa is the weirdest romance movie of all time, by the way. That
such a good movie.
It's great.
I love that this movie chose to do a love story and not anything other than that. Because I feel like love stories and the way we all dissect our romances, you're fairly, if not entirely, conscious of forming these very impressionable parts of your personality and yourself when you're reacting to someone else in a romantic relationship. I know it seems so obvious, but I don't think it is that obvious. I think other filmmakers may have tried to make this about his entire life for some reason, as opposed to like just this specific relationship. And I don't know, it touches me so hard every time.
Wait till I talk about Blue Moon in a second, because I'll tell you how it works in a way that I didn't like.
Oh, okay. All right, Jeff's done talking about it.
I like that movie, but
Spotless Mind.
No, I like that movie, but
well, there's another one.
It's not easy to just say, well, make it a romance, and there you go. All our answers are solved. It doesn't make it easy.
Another one for the All-Star collection.
Yes, All-Star. Fucking.
Do you have a list, Dave? Do you have a collection?
Yeah, there's a list on YouTube as well. All-Stars.
Nice.
I mentioned Loving the Lost Weekend the other day to somebody. They asked me if I was an alcoholic. I said, no, I just like the movie.
Dave, I knew Therese was gonna. This was one of her favorite movies.
It was one of her favorites for a long time, apparently.
For a long time, yeah, I'm sure. I'm so glad you all got to watch it together. That's great, man.
I'll say, to finish it out, I think it's great that we don't even really need to talk about Mark Ruffalo's great in this movie.
Yeah.
And that Kirsten Dunst, Tom Wilkinson bit could not ruin the movie, but it could totally sink this movie if it was just like
it could feel divisive, right?
Exactly.
It could feel like a divisive.
It could feel like contrived. We need if it was a play, it would be like, who are you having an affair with? And it's like, well, there's only 2 other male characters in the show, so I bet you're sleeping with both of them. It's like, you know what I mean? Dave, don't you fucking yawn. Get out of here. Get out of here. I know I asked to record an hour late, but no. Anyway, I thought that moment was great. And I also love that if this amazing technology existed, instead of it being like international and being like stock traded, it's just a weird shack in Queens.
Yeah.
With a guy with a weird van.
They're all over Queens. Then you just got to find it.
And I'll call this out because I've heard some, I certainly heard some of my female cohort members responsibly call out that this movie and some of the movies in the early 2000s really put that archetype of the manic pixie dream girl from the male filmmaking perspective on a real pedestal. And I understand why that is difficult for some people to swallow. Like there's an argument for that. She is absolutely leaning into that. And this is a movie from his perspective. So it is very much heightened that way. However, my defense against that is that it knows itself in a sense because of that scene in the bookstore, the last scene in the bookstore, where he's either voiceovering or he's telling her, I kept telling myself that you would fix me. And I know that that's wrong, but I still believed it. That you were going to be the antithesis of my boring, mundane, sad guy-ness. I needed someone to wake me up and to make me change and be more spontaneous. And so I guess even though I agree with that and I totally understand why that is a problem for some people, because it kind of really solidified that archetype, and especially from that male perspective, I just felt that there was enough self-awareness there that it at least made me feel that I could respect the filmmakers and the protagonists because they're calling themselves out for having that issue.
And history's metal. I just mentioned at the beginning of this, in case they skipped over, 2004 was a great year for biopics. This was not one. All the biopics were for male characters. So this is just, so you're right. And if that's what is on the table, then let's talk about it in the greater context of things. I think this movie handled it really well. But if that was a thing, sad man, colorful woman, very curious. Let's talk about it. That's not the case in 2026.
If it wasn't in the hands of maybe the best actress of her generation, it may have been more less compelling and more problematic. But she is. 3 actors in this movie started their careers over with this movie. Jim, her, and Elijah. All of them were kind of trying to do a reset.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry. I love this movie.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Dave, you ready to spin the wheel for next week? Dave.
Fingers on the button.
Oh, sorry. John, we got to guess. We've been in the past a lot. I actually want to go to the past. I'm going to say 1956. Let's go back in time.
I'm going to go 91.
All right, Dave, let's see what we got.
Okay. Rolling.
Oh, 1970. 1970. I feel like this is going to be an interesting year.
70.
We're not going to sit here and Google movies.
70s.
We're going to tell you what we've been watching this past week, and then we're going to finish our episode with our choice for next week after you listen to some Dasein. A couple minutes left. Stick with us. Dave, we'd like to start with you and what you've been watching. What have you been watching?
I'm still watching Starfleet Academy. It's a different style of writing, dude. Star Trek is really good in this format. I like it. A lot of people on the internet don't. They can get fucked. I actually am really enjoying this. And the show I mentioned last year, Paradise, which I challenged people to watch the first episode, and see if they could pick how it ended, because you will not.
Okay.
That's back for season 2. I watched the first episode of that just today. And I finally saw Frankenstein, which was my test screening I had to do today.
Oh, and what'd you think?
That is so fucking pretty. So pretty.
Yeah.
Isn't the gore great? The blood and the body parts, and I wasn't expecting that.
I always expect that from like Guillermo. Like, dude,
Couldn't help
seriously.
himself.
But like we watched it on this brand new laser projector, and it was like 3 stories tall and looked beautiful.
Damn.
Nice, dude.
It's definitely one for the big screen. I feel like I would have enjoyed that way more than Netflix.
Well, I'll let you know.
Cool.
John?
I was one of those millions, billions of people around the world, whatever, who just basically streamed the Winter Olympics all day.
I watched so
night.
much Olympics. What was your favorite?
Dog.
Hockey was great.
Oh,
the dog going down the ski thing where they had the camera angles.
Don't make
John,
me
what were your
choose.
favorite?
I really
The
love
hockey
the
was great.
freestyle skiing. So any of the aerial jumping, moguls, I love all that stuff. But I watched a bunch of curling. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy it.
Curling is always on. Every single time I turned around, if I'm at a bar or whatever, there's fucking curling on, and I'm like, is this a different competition? And they're like, this is mixed something. This is all gendered. And I'm like, curling is like, it's like a fucking virus. It's just constantly on. It was like throughout the Olympics, It was bobsledding and curling. It was skating and like always fucking curling.
Really fun. Really fun. How about you?
I loved the Winter Olympics. It was great. I feel a little bad for the quad god. I wish it was like other sports. Like you had that one Norwegian guy that just won 6 gold medals, who's 29. If there were just multiple figure skating awards, that guy would have had less pressure. Like Michaela Schifrin, who got, she fucking, she choked.
Awesome.
She did. She did choke. And then all of a sudden her final one came and she won by a 1.5 seconds. To be clear, the between second place and like 9th place was a 1.5 seconds. She was that far ahead. Anyway, fucking crazy. So good for her.
The half pipe, the snowboard
great.
half pipe was fucking awesome. It's so much fun.
Eileen Chu, is that her name? Is that what you're talking? No, it's snowboard. Snowboard was the male one you're talking about, or the female one? All fucking great.
All great.
Good for them. The only one I don't like this year was the ski jump. I felt like it was too safe. I could see the slots in the skis, and I fucking too safe for me. And the hockey was fun, even though they're all voting for Trump.
Safe.
I think
you do a ski jump and tell me if it's too safe for you.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it some other time. Okay, you're right. I'm never doing a ski jump. I'm never doing a ski jump. I could barely run on a treadmill nowadays, let alone ski jump.
I mean, I want to be there with a camera if you do it.
I rewatched Along Came Polly on that was our Valentine's Day.
I do want to ask you one question. Really, I'm going to interrupt you. What did you think about the drone and the annoying sound? It was that was driving me nuts, dude. In the coverage of the Olympics, the drone footage and how they would put the sound into the broadcast. It's awful. It's atrocious.
I have to admit, because I have YouTube TV, I can save things, and I had Peacock, so I didn't like watch too much of like the NBC stuff. But I guess on the live footage, you saw that a lot. Fucking whatever. Honestly, like you're right. It was a little annoying, but I'd rather be like, oh, we're huddling and watching this from a distance, almost like we're in a helicopter, rather than the primetime NBC coverage was awful. It was terrible, and it's not their fault. But they knew it was awful when they had actual journalists get fired, and they had Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is not a journalist, so why is he there? Like clearly they knew. Like we all knew the results. Like none of the other networks, nobody else cared. If Michaela Schifrin wins a medal at 7 a.m., they're not going to wait until 10 p.m. at the NBC broadcast to tell us. They're just going to fucking ruin it. So I don't know. So I actually liked knowing that it was live and real and we were seeing something, that they wouldn't have seen 10 years ago. So I didn't mind it so much. Okay.
Yeah.
Long Came Polly. I watched Blue Moon. I love Blue Moon. I really did. Ethan Hawke is amazing. He probably...
Is it on Netflix? Is that where you watched it?
No, I watched it on the SAG Awards, their site.
It's coming to Netflix soon, though, I heard.
I'm sure we'd all love to know that they shot in Ireland, this one location set in Sardi's movie, 15-day shoot in Ireland. That is where the money is right now, guys. They can't fucking shoot in America. Richard Linklater took Ethan Hawke and Bobby Cannavale and Margaret Qualley to fucking Ireland, and it was cheaper to do it there, even though it literally all happens in one fucking restaurant. But maybe that's why Andrew Scott was Richard Rodgers, who, John, you're going to love his performance in that. It was great. Yes. I love it. I think they just spent too much time in this little weird love story. And it's very obviously a composite for the fact that Loren's heart never really had love, and he was sort of torn because he was probably a homosexual, but he also like loved romance and women and stuff. And they have like this third anyway. And I just that's the only thing that really sunk the movie for me, because I was kind of bored during their stuff after a while, and I was like, no, because when he says some of the funniest things about Oscar Hammerstein's writing. My favorite thing he said is like, the corn is as high as an elephant's eye. Can you imagine going to Oklahoma and seeing an Oklahoma cornfield, beautiful, and then seeing a fucking elephant in Oklahoma? Can you fucking imagine that? Like, and you're laughing and you're like, you can see it both ways, but it's so great, and it's just too bad that I feel like they.
So did you guys watch Nouvelle Vague yet? The other Linklater movie from this year about the making of Breathless?
No, but that sounds great. No, I didn't see that. Why would I have seen that?
It's on Netflix. I told you about. I talked about it. It's fucking. I was just going to ask you what your favorite 2025 Linklater film was, because the bastard made 2 of them. It's so awesome. God,
good for him. Man. It's gonna be Blue Moon. Good for him. I forget what else. Oh, and the Night of the Seven Kingdoms is so good. And I had people text me about that 5th episode this season, and it's not what I expected. So people text me, it's like, oh, this is great.
I'm trying to get through the first one. Does it get better?
The first episode?
Yeah.
You don't like when he literally takes a dump on the Game of Thrones?
That made me chuckle. That definitely made me chuckle. But after that, I was like,
How about this, Dave? Will this get you through the season? It's 6 30-minute episodes. Will that get you through the season?
Yeah. Half hour?
Just fucking do it. Yes. It's 6 30-minute episodes. Go ahead and you'll get through it. It's great. Let's take a break and listen to some Dasein. Let's take a break and listen to some Dasein, and we're going to come back quick and tell you what 1970 movie we're doing in 10 seconds. See you soon, Phil fans. And we're back.
Yeah.
We did debate. Patton was close. John, I'm so sorry we're not doing Patton. I'm so sorry.
We didn't debate. You guys voted each way and you chickened out and made me make the deciding vote.
Yeah.
That's what we usually do.
Yeah. Wait, I feel like I get some. Well, no, Dave always makes the deciding vote. Anyway, we decided to go with 5 Easy Pieces. I'm so excited. It was not a top 10 movie of this year, but I feel like the history lives on. Jack Nicholson, one of his first big leading performances. Come on. I'm so excited to talk about this movie with you guys. Anything else you want to say before we head out, film fans? I mean, you too? Fuck, I can't speak. What do you think?
I think we should stop. Baby, watch it.
We should stop. Okay, bye.